Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is your MF Michael Flecha alongside Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock. And gentlemen, we have ourselves a very loaded show tonight. As always, we started off with SmackDown Live. And gentlemen, here we go. We were in, well, one of the most unique places in the entire world when it comes to professional wrestling. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Um, you want to talk about notorious and you want to talk about infamous. Uh, this was the place that originated and created one of the most iconic and most controversial moments in professional wrestling, the 1997 Survivor Series, the legendary and now infamous Montreal Screwjob. And yeah, we were back at the scene of the crime. Well, no pun intended, but SmackDown Live was this time from, I believe it's still called the Bell Center, unless they changed it. I don't remember. But it was in
It's still the
Montreal.
Bell Center.
It's still the Bell Center after all these years, yes. So the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, this time on Fox. And gentlemen, here we go. So we started this show off. Let's see. We started it off with Ronda Rousey. Yeah, Ronda comes out basically saying, well, all right, here's the thing. I paid my fine. That was you. I was fined about $100,000. I gave you that and interest. And now I'm here tonight because I want my suspension lifted. I'm done playing games. I'm not leaving Montreal and I'm not leaving this ring unless I get the clearance that I am officially no longer suspended by WWE. Adam Pearce comes out, says, you know what, Ronda? That's above my pay grade. I cannot lift your suspension. Unfortunately, I need you to leave the ring peacefully, or else I'm going to have you arrested because you are technically trespassing on private property. Ronda wasn't having it. Unfortunately, this time around, she has to end up going out in cuffs. So she does get arrested, hauled out of the arena, and I'm telling you right now, guys, the reaction from the crowd in Montreal has been the reaction that she's been getting in the last few weeks since SummerSlam. Going into SummerSlam, she was definitely getting a lot of boos. This time around, because of the outcome of the match with her and Liv, and consequently what's been happening past that, she has won the WWE Universe over. They are definitely on her side and cannot wait for that day that they lift the suspension on her and that she can finally compete for the belt again. But until then, I thought that was fine. I thought this was okay. You don't really have to call it a real segment because it wasn't really. It's just something that they placed at the beginning of the show, which was nice, but it set it up what was undoubtedly going to be a very good narrative the rest of the evening. So, with that said, we'll move on. And we got the first fight of the evening, and that was Natalya and Sonya Deville. And they went up against, well, it was supposed to have been Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark. However, due to an injury that happened during the match on Tuesday night, Zoe Stark was unfit to compete in the match. Therefore, her and Nikita Lyons have been taken out of the WWE Women's Tag Team Title Tournament, and their replacement in the match is none other than Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, Toxic Attraction. Woo! It's all I can say. And the winners of the bout in 8 minutes and 48 seconds is Toxic Attraction. They win the match. I'm going to say it. Solid match. Great matchup. Good battle. Okay. There was one botch in the match. It was noticeable. There was a mistake. However, other than that, Gigi and JC felt comfortable in the moment. It didn't look sloppy, where normally when you could have nerves out of your mind going into a match like that, getting called up, literally having your first match and doing it in Montreal, you know that crowd is ready to eat you alive if you mess up. But they did very well. They did fine for what it was worth. And now Gigi and JC advances to the semifinal. They now go on. Now they got to face off with Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez. All of a sudden, guys, there's some talk and there's some fans from IWC and especially on Twitter. They're calling this a big win, but have we now found the new favorites to win the entire tournament? Is it possible that Toxic Attraction captures the WWE Women's Tag Team titles? Now, going into the tournament, everybody was saying, "Oh, it's Dakota and Io that they're going to win the tournament." I don't know, boys. I think we got a new challenger, and maybe the next WWE Women's Tag Team Champions that's coming from, of all places, NXT. Anthony Florio, you were the one that dropped the bomb saying that Toxic Attraction was going to be the replacements. Yes, they are. Is it possible? Could they be the ones to win it all? This was a 3-star fight for me. And it was, just to give you a quick second, it was done in 8 minutes and 48 seconds.
I actually heard that one. And MF, I mean, before we get into the seriousness of this, we have to relive we have to relive one of our favorite funny moments from back in the day, back in our commentary days. You know, every time we would go to Montreal or somewhere in Canada, every time there was a 2 count, you would hear the crowd go 2, and we all know how much you love that, MF. I mean, I told that to Bullock during our SmackDown chat this evening, and you could hear I clearly heard those fans go 2 on those.
And you definitely would hear me chuckle.
And you would have said, "God, I love these knuckleheads." That's what you would have said.
Yeah.
So that dates back to the 2003 No Way Out pay-per-view that was in that very same venue in Montreal. Going back to the Sunday Night Heat match on that show, and you heard the crowd go 2, and every time you heard that, MF would just lose his mind in laughter, and it was just so funny. But all kidding aside, I reported it, but the thing is, it was PW Insider. We gotta credit our friends over at PW Insider. They're the ones who dropped the bomb, and I'm just the one who I was the messenger. I just relayed it to you guys, and then WWE took it a step further when the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels, and the new vice president of talent development He did he came on and did a quick little video on Twitter, and he made the announcement, and then they made it official. And also on this night, the 1200th episode of SmackDown, 1200 episodes. I mean, that is something, and special moment for you guys, and I know how much MF that means a lot to you. You know, to be on for dear this long, and 1200 episodes, that's something. But all kidding aside, yeah, about 3 for the effort. Yeah, I'll give you that, MF. I mean, it was a solid match that forced Sonya Deville into the mostly unfamiliar role of babyface, and showcased Natalya in front of her home country. It also introduced Toxic Attraction to the main roster fans. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane never once looked uncomfortable or out of place despite the bigger stage, and the argument can be made that Triple H and the creative forces should be plotting to bring them and Mandy Rose up to the main roster permanently as soon as NXT booking allows for it. Ironically enough, to advance to the finals, they will have to defeat a woman who has proven problematic for Toxic Attraction in the past, Raquel Rodriguez. So, and let's not forget Aaliyah either. But here's the thing: Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, they bought tickets and they sat in the crowd, and you heard Bayley exclaim, rekindling her side rivalry with Michael Cole, "Ding dong, ding dong." Yep, you heard that. And the commentary team provided the backstory for Bayley's presence in relation to Sonya Deville's match, claiming she and her cohorts believed the Pride Fighter did not do enough to further the women's division when she was a WWE official. Little details like that greatly enhance the product and help fans invest better in the stories being told. The blind tag from Gigi Dolan and JC Jane and Natalya's ignorance of it was a clever finish, and what a splash to the main roster for Dolan and Jane. Their first match in, and they're on their way to the semifinals of the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. And next week, in Detroit Rock City at the Little Caesars Arena, on SmackDown, they will square off against Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah. And the winner of that match advances to the finals of the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. We don't know when that final match is going to be. You would think Clash at the Castle, maybe they do it sooner, but you know, it just depends on how they decide to do it. But nonetheless, 3 stars, and Dolan and Jane became the dark horse to win this thing. Even though I still believe that Dakota and Io are still the favorites in my eye, and I think they're gonna get by Alexa and Asuka. Even though Alexa and Asuka are gonna give them major fits on Monday night in Toronto, but I think Dakota and Io and Toxic Attraction, I think that's gonna be the final matchup, and I do believe Dakota and Io are gonna walk out as the women's tag team champions. But regardless of who wins the tournament, guys, we're all in agreement. Once that final goes down, and once the new champions are crowned, that's when you have to believe that Sasha and Naomi are going to make their return, and business is going to damn sure pick up. But business has already picked up. If Toxic Attraction ends up going to SmackDown, what a coup that is for MF and the SmackDown Women's Division to get the hottest act and the best thing going on 2.0 as soon as Mandy drops the women's title, which we don't know when that's going to be or even who it's going to be against. A lot to make sense of, but 3 stars. I'll go as far as to say second best fight of the night on this night. So, not much more to say here. Phenom Michael Bullock, I know this has got to make you very proud because you are our NXT guy. And Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, replacing the injured Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons. And here they are. And wow. First night on the job, they defeat Natty and Sonya. And now are 2 wins away from becoming the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions after being the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions on 2 occasions. How about it?
Yeah, that's something right there. I mean, you were wondering going into this. I mean, how would Gigi Dolan and JC Jane do on their first night on SmackDown? And and boy, howdy, I think they look good here, and they didn't look nervous for one split second. And as much as I want to say Io and Dakota, I think are the favorites to win it. I don't know about you, but I gotta go with Toxic Attraction. I gotta go with Gigi Dolan and JC Jane because why do I get this funny feeling that Alexa and Asuka, because of the ongoing feud that's going on, I think is going to cost them a chance to become the women's tag team champions. I just got this funny feeling about it. But we'll wait and see how it goes. But a very good first showing for them and for Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. And yeah, now next week in the finals, or the semifinals, I should say, they got to deal, well, not only with Aaliyah, but someone that they're familiar with, and that's Raquel Rodriguez. So that should be something worth watching. So yeah, and if whenever they end Mandy Rose's reign as the NXT Women's Champion, I think you're going to see Toxic Attraction, all three of them, on SmackDown. And if that happens, which I think it will, that'll be a huge boost to that women's division over on SmackDown. I mean, so that's how I see it happening. But very good first showing for Toxic Attraction. So yeah, 3 stars is my rating as well. So let's move on, Fletch.
All right. So the next thing that we did have, well, it was a fatal 5-way. In the match, the winner would receive an Intercontinental Championship opportunity against Gunther at Clash at the Castle. The participants were Madcap Moss, Happy Corbin, Sheamus, Ricochet, and Montreal's own Sami Zayn. Oh my God, what a reaction Zayn got in that match. But when it was all said and done, the winner of the match in 22 minutes and 33 seconds, you heard me right, 22:33, and the man who now gets to fight Gunther at Clash at the Castle for the Intercontinental Championship is Sheamus. Anthony Florio, are you salivating over the fact Gunther versus Sheamus one-on-one for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship at Clash at the Castle? Oh my goodness. European pride is going to be on the line.
I should be asking you that question, MF. I mean,
it's the ultimate be a man fight. It is going to be. Oh.
I know I have to start, and then I know we got to go to Bullock, but then, MF, when we come back to you, do what you do best, as you know what you are on this show, the hype man. I know you're gonna hype this sucker, and boy howdy, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. So, oh boy, where to begin? All right, let's get the obvious out of the way. Fight of the night, 4.5 stars, teetering on 4 3/4. The commercial breaks, obviously, ruined it. But I'll tell you right now, if we were there in Montreal, gentlemen, we no doubt about it would have pulled the trigger and given this 5. But because it was on television and because we had a couple of breaks, we can only give it like maybe 4.5. At best, 4 3/4. But I think 4.5 is the appropriate rating. This was a fantastic match and one of the best free TV matches WWE has produced all year. The pacing was great. the action as well, but it was the molten hot crowd and their love for Sami Zayn that put it over the top. The hometown hero endured the shoulder injury, fought through it, and appeared to have the thing won until that damn Happy Corbin ripped it away from him. The look of heartbreak on his face, his chance to impress Roman Reigns ruined, told the larger story at play. The Montreal crowd may have wanted Sami Zayn, but it is safe to say that Sheamus versus Gunther in 2 weeks in Cardiff, Wales is going to be a banger of a match and one of the most physical we will ever see in WWE. Great booking, an even better crowd, the underdog storyline, and the dastardly heel ruining the desired outcome helped earn this one the rating it deserved. The ovation for Sami Zayn was as loud as any pop in recent memory. The fans in Montreal treated him like a conquering hero, and rightfully so. You may not like his gimmick, and you know Bullock and I especially have been very vocal, calling him lame duck man and all this other stuff. But for a guy that has been enormously selfless over the last 2 or so years, he earned the opportunity to bask in it. And Michael Cole said of Zayn in a statement that never would have been made a month ago, and I quote, maybe looked like El Generico there. Yes, Michael Cole brought up Sami Zayn's old persona from Ring of Honor that good old MF Michael Flecha could tell you stories upon days about. El Generico, when he wrestled in a mask and had the legendary battles with Kevin Steen down there. And the roar for the injured Zayn making his way back to the ring was unforgettable, as was the growl he let out prior to the suplex he delivered to Ricochet. Wow. Incredible match. 4.5 stars. If we had been there, we damn sure would have pulled the trigger. But, man alive, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, Sheamus and Gunther, wow. If that's not a Be a Man fight, tell me what is. This is going to be an MF special. This ain't going to be no Flair Steamboat 5-star. What it's going to be is a smash mouth, in your face, physical, Be a Man fight. And I know MF is going to be salivating all over this. I mean, it may not be a Flair Steamboat 5-star, but I think it has the potential to be, you know, one of the best fights of the night. This could end up possibly stealing the damn show. It could overshadow Roman and Drew. It's very possible. But man alive, this is gonna be something else. And what's the word we've been using over the last couple of weeks or so? Elevation. And that's exactly what they're doing. This match tonight put over the importance and just how prestigious the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship belt is. And this match tonight showed, and these 5 men tonight put their lives and they put their lives on the line. They put their hearts and their souls on the line to earn a shot at the most prestigious, at a title that was prestigious, became an afterthought for many years, but over the last month or so, this belt has finally gotten the respect and the elevation and the prestige it damn sure well deserves, and that put over just how important that Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship belt is, and how bad those five badasses wanted it tonight. And I really didn't know who to go with, but Michael Bullock did. During our SmackDown chat, Bullock told me, he said, Florio, I got Sheamus winning this match. And Bullock had the balls to do it, and boy howdy, he delivered. He had Sheamus winning, and Sheamus did in fact win the match. So, and he has a great point, because here's the thing. Sheamus has done everything there is to do. He's won everything there is to win in WWE. He's won the WWE Championship. He won the World Heavyweight Championship. He won the United States Heavyweight Championship. Multi-time WWE Tag Team Champion, 2010 King of the Ring, 2012 Royal Rumble match winner, 2015 won the Money in the Bank contract and cashed in successfully. But the one thing that the Celtic Warrior has never ever done in his Hall of Fame career, and yes, it will without a doubt be a Hall of Fame career when he's ready to call it. The one thing that Sheamus O'Shaughnessy, or whatever you want to call him, has never done, that is win the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. My gut is telling me Gunther goes over in Cardiff, but my heart is telling me maybe they put it on Sheamus and they give Sheamus the last piece of his of the everything puzzle. He's won everything else. He just needs that Intercontinental belt. He gets it. Bada bing, bada boom. That's it. He can say I've done everything. I've won everything.
Basically,
then give him the keys to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a Hall of Fame career already, but if you can say that I've won every single championship in the history of WWE,
everything.
I mean, that is. I don't think there's any wrestler in the history of the company that can say that.
Actually, there is one, and I'm very surprised because this is your boy, MF. What about Randy Orton? He can say he's done everything.
Yeah, Orton has. Yeah, actually, yes. I can make an argument.
Wait a minute. That's right.
Wait, no.
Yeah. King of the Ring. He never won King of the Ring. That's right.
Never won King of the Ring.
No.
Yep.
So
Sheamus would be the first.
Some guys have come close. I mean, Kurt Angle. But the only thing is he never won the Royal Rumble or the King of the Ring.
Yes.
So.
No, Angle won King of the Ring.
Yeah, he won King of the Ring. That's right. He didn't win the Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank. Or Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank was never around in his time.
That's right. So, I mean, this would be something. This would be something if he does it. So, he wins that thing in Cardiff. That's it. He's done everything. The only thing left to do after that, whenever he's ready to call it a career, just give him the keys to the Hall of Fame. So, what a moment. Well deserved. Congratulations to Sheamus. I am absolutely positively 100% not even mad at this. He deserves the opportunity. Him and Gunther. Let's go. That's all I can say. Gentlemen, just get us to Cardiff now. Just get us to Cardiff now, man. I can't wait 2 more damn weeks. It can't come fast frickin' enough. On the most loaded Labor Day weekend we can ever imagine. With this event, college football opening up, AEW All Out, and now with the NXT Worlds Collide, oh my goodness gracious. This is going to be the greatest Labor Day weekend ever. That's it. So, not much more to say. 4.5 stars, fight of the night. You can definitely make an argument for TV fight of the year, no doubt about it. And Michael Bullock, Phenom, nothing more to say except I believe you had that one. You made the bold prediction. One of our running gags as part of our chats over the years, Raw or SmackDown. You made the bold prediction. He said, "Florio, I'm going with Sheamus," and damn it to hell, he made you look like a damn genius, man.
And here's the thing, guys. I mean, out of the other, I mean, besides Sheamus, do you really think any of the other 4 men would have stood a chance against Gunther if any one of them had won this? I mean, did you really think any one of them would have had a chance? I don't think so.
I mean, Ricochet. I mean, who did Gunther take the title off of?
Ricochet.
Took it from Ricochet. Matt had Moss, even though he went on a hot streak lately, no.
Moss would have been the second choice.
I mean, maybe Sammy, but the thing is, with the bloodline and the whole 9 yards, I don't think he would have gotten it.
No. And Corbin, that would have been way too boring.
Corbin, no. So yeah, the most logical guy would have been Sheamus.
Exactly. I mean, the one person that would have given Gunther a major challenge is the man I picked to win it, and that's Sheamus. And this is going to be the ultimate be a man fight. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, it's going to be hard hitting. It's going to be a smash mouth type affair. I mean, this could have the potential to be one of the best be a man fights I have seen in a long time. When you got two combustible elements in Sheamus and Gunther, oh boy. I mean, just get us to Cardiff, Wales. Get us to Clash at the Castle. I mean, this Labor Day weekend's got a chance to be one of the greatest we've ever seen. I mean, with Clash at the Castle, with All Out, I mean, with college football returning, I mean, my goodness.
And NXT Worlds Collide.
Just get us to Labor Day week. Sakes.
NXT Worlds Collide on the same day as All Out, although it's going to start at 4 o'clock.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, I cannot wait for this. I mean, 4.5 stars. Definitely the fight of the night. Fletch, if this isn't a be a man fight at Clash of the Castle, somebody tell me what is.
Think about this. You're going to have Clash at the Castle 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 3 hours later is NXT Worlds Collide at 4. 8 p.m.
No. It's the next day. Sunday,
Oh,
September
okay.
4th.
All right.
Before All Out.
So, because All Out is actually on the Sunday, not the Saturday. Dude, if they would have thrown that all in one shot, just do it. Get the balls. Have the balls, guys. I mean, hit us with the triple header. Why not? If you're gonna do it, do it. You know, why not? Put the show in Cardiff at 1. At 4, you do the event, the NXT, because it's NXT. NXT versus NXT UK, the Worlds Collide, and then round it out with AEW, All Out, at 8. Why not? I mean, what the hell? There would not be any overlap. You could nail this within 3 hours, you know? So I think that should have been the move. That should have been the situation. I get it. It would be a synergy overload. It would be too much MF. Come on. I mean, we went through what? 5 hours of WrestleMania 1 year, or 5.5, almost 5 hours of WrestleMania 1 year, and we made it through that. So what? Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna say anything more. But I will say this: for all you Euros out there, think about this. Glasgow, Scotland is going to be the site where Ireland versus Austria collide. Dublin, Ireland. Sheamus against Venice, Austria's Gunther. Even though they're trying to make him that he's German, he's not German. He's Austrian, folks. But, man, what a matchup. What a battle this is going to be. Yeah. 2 of the biggest dudes, 2 of the biggest guys. Sheamus has done it all in WWE. Gunther has been a wrecking ball in the United Kingdom, in the UK, in Europe. He has been that dominating force. So when you want to talk about worlds colliding, this is a world's collision going down, in Glasgow. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what to believe. This is going to be a humdinger of a war. And it's going to be a night to remember. And I cannot wait for it to happen. All right, guys. So here we go. Next up, SmackDown Women's Champion, Liv Morgan. She went up against Shotzi. And Liv wins the match in 6 minutes and 18 seconds. Michael Bullock. Liv looked pretty good. You know, we've been waiting for the moment for her to kind of branch out, and she finally got her moment. Big win for her.
Yeah, and but even before this match, I mean, and Fletch, I'm surprised you didn't even mention this. There was a legit Twitter war going on between. I mean, they were literally throwing shade at each other. I mean, things they said, I'm like, okay, tell us how you really feel. I mean, and part of me was wondering how much of this was going to spill into this match. And there was one point, Fletch, where Shotzi did a DDT right onto Liv Morgan, right onto the hardest part of the ring. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I was a little worried. I'm like thinking, is Shotzi really pushing it too far because of the whole Twitter war? I mean, who knows? But this was a fine match, but I'll give it 2 stars. But man, I mean, but afterwards, Shayna Baszler basically attacked from behind, and she was about to do the joint manipulation on her, and I was like saying to myself, don't do it, because Fletch, what do you think would have happened if she did hit it?
Oh, if she would have done it, that's it. Liv would have been donezo.
The match wouldn't happen.
The fight's off.
But she did it. I mean, she didn't really do it. She was basically just getting into Liv Morgan's head, saying, I could hit you with that at Cardiff, and I'll become the new champion. And Liv Morgan is the champion, but she's going into this match at Cardiff as the ultimate underdog. But as they always say, underdogs always seem to rise to the occasion. And can Liv Morgan rise to the occasion one more time against the likes of Shayna? We'll find out. 2 stars for me. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, 2 stars. Definitely a solid match. I hate to say this, guys, but there's a lot of people that are starting to think that Shayna's going to win the belt. There's a lot of people that's actually given up on Liv Morgan. Now, it's not WWE. So before anybody says anything, WWE has not expressed anything as of yet. So we don't know where they're going to go. But we're talking now. These are the talking heads. These are the insiders. These are like the Brian Alvarez's, the Sean Ross Sapps, the Dave Meltzer. As a matter of fact, this one who wrote the article, this one was written by, and I'm going by ProWrestling.net, and this one was done by Jake Bennett. Jake Bennett is gone. So I'm going to say Jake Bennett has already gone on record and has given Liv Morgan a 30% chance of winning the title or successfully defending the title. He's literally has written her off and says that she should lose the belt in Cardiff. I mean, that is such a devastating blow to the Liv Morgan fans. But the thing is that I hate to say it, but I think WWE fumbled this. I think they fumbled this whole thing with Liv being the champion. as much as Liv is been decent, I think they might have made a mistake. I think it was too soon to put the belt around her. And now you're starting to see the fans, they turned on her. And I think I think the sooner they get the belt off her and repackage her to be that fighter, to be that scrapper again, she'll get the fans back. I think what happened was it was the wrong competitors at the wrong time. And the outcome of the match at SummerSlam really destroyed any momentum Liv Morgan had. And I think we can agree on that.
But and here's the thing, Fletch. I mean, I don't think we should blame Liv Morgan for this. I mean, and I think that's the thing the fans need to realize. I mean, yeah, you can turn on her all you want, but the thing is, this is not her fault. I mean, I think WWE realized they, as you would said, they fumbled at this at what they wanted to do with Liv Morgan. So I think you fans need to realize it before you start booing her.
I mean, I get where you're coming from.
It's just how I personally feel.
No, and I get it, but the thing is that it's not everybody. It's just a small percentage of the fans, and that's why I think, and that's why you saw a lot of pushback coming from WWE, and especially from the wrestlers. They started pushing back at the fans because of what happened to Liv when the fans turned on her. So it's almost certainly that it wasn't perfect, but the thing is, I think some people has already lost faith in her. And I'm not talking about WWE, but someone I know, this Jake Bennett has already said, if I'm Triple H, I pull the plug right now on her title reign because you're doing more damage to Liv than you guys are realizing. So, again, this is just an opinion from a writer who's actually very knowledgeable and one of the more respected guys in the wrestling business. Now, I know what I'm saying, it's going to cause a lot of fire and a lot of controversy. And I know a lot of people are going to be very hopping mad when they get to hear this on the video on demand, on the POV, on the YouTube. Because, you know, unless you're hearing it live right now, thank you, and we appreciate it. But if you're going to watch it on the POV, thank you. We love you guys. But my goodness, this could get very, very, very interesting. So nothing more to say. Anthony, quick thought?
Yeah. 2.5 stars. I'm actually going to give it 2.5 stars for the match. I mean, it was a hard-fought match with some solid storytelling that was abandoned late as Liv Morgan made her comeback with little sign of the injured arm that had hampered her all night long. And then Shayna attacked after the bell, threatened to break Morgan's arm, but opted to wait until Cardiff where she can do it and take the title at the same time. Baszler, like Ronda Rousey earlier in the show, has rediscovered their edge under Triple H. And it is amazing how quickly credibility can be restored. The Queen of Spades looks like an absolute killer and someone who is going to dismantle Liv Morgan in Cardiff. If she does not, Liv Morgan looks even stronger for having beaten her. It is simple booking and something the game has excelled in to this point in his short tenure as head of creative. Michael Cole referenced the Twitter exchange between Liv Morgan and Shotzi, but this is one instance where popping it up on the screen would have helped put over the match and gave fans a reason to care beyond the champ appearing in it. And that's really all there is to say on that. Now, you brought up Ronda Rousey, MF, and I gotta be honest with you on this. The way they're booking her, is the way they should have is exactly how Ronda should have been booked, rather than the one-dimensional, uninteresting babyface she had been since she returned at the Royal Rumble in January. She is a rebellious badass, unafraid to beat down anyone that stands between her and what she wants. And the audience is reacting favorably to that as well. And Ronda is as over as she has been since her first run with the company 4 years ago, and is arguably the top babyface on SmackDown not named Drew McIntyre. And that is a drastic turnaround from how she was viewed by fans as late as a month ago. If there is a downside to all of this, it is that Liv Morgan stands no chance of being the babyface in any feud with Rousey when she is presented in this way. And that is disappointing for a performer who, as well as her fans, waited so long for this SmackDown Women's title run for Liv. But, you know, we're just going to have to wait and find out. But if Shayna wins the title, I would not at all be surprised. And if that's the case, then you can give us a one-man fight with Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. You do that, look out. Look out. That's going to be the female equivalent of a man fight, or as I call it, a woman fight. Because that's an MF special. You put Baszler and Rousey together, it ain't going to be no Trish Lita 5-star. Oh no, it's going to be smash mouth, hard hitting, physical, in your face, just like with Sheamus and Gunther.
I could see this turning into like an MMA fight.
Oh,
like
yes.
a lot of ground and pounds, a lot of kicks, a lot of submissions.
That's it.
I mean, you know what? I'm gonna say it. This could end up being a Joanna Jacek versus Weili Zhang, part 1.
Yep.
The fight that went down in Madison Square Garden, which was years ago, and that was a 5-star. And that was one of the best women's MMA fight I ever saw in my career. And it was in the UFC. So
wow.
Oh yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see how they book it. I mean, I don't know why, but my gut is telling me Liv actually survives this. But at the same time, my heart and my mind is telling me that Shayna's going to win it. And believe me, with how horribly booked Shayna Baszler was under the McMagma regime. I mean, you remember when Shayna Baszler was in NXT, she was, and I still consider her, the greatest and most dominant NXT Women's Champion ever. Better than Asuka. Yes, call me weird, but yes, that's true. That's how I feel about it. She's finally looking like that Shayna Baszler from NXT. And if we keep going at this rate, Liv Morgan is in serious, serious trouble come Cardiff. And that's why I believe Shayna could win the title very easily. And if you do that, Shayna and Ronda, that's the big money match. We've been wanting to see it. Make it happen. With the way those two badass chicks have been booked recently, with Shayna as the monster badass dominant heel and Ronda I'll admit it, and I even said this to Bullock during our chat tonight. I think they're booking Ronda as the female equivalent of a Stone Cold Steve Austin, anti-authority, anti-hero, babyface. We all remember how uber over Stone Cold ended up getting. Ronda's on her way to being just as over as Stone Cold was. So, wow. 2.5 stars. And MF, there's nothing left to say except the main event of Clash at the Castle. The two men who are going to be engaging in that. The biggest WWE match of the year. The most anticipated match of the year to this point. They came together tonight. Face to face.
Yes, indeed. It was a face-to-face between Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns, and boy, they did not disappoint with this one. Solid segment to close the show. There was a little bit of a mini brouhaha, and it looked like Drew was going to get the advantage, and then he tried to go for the Claymore kick where Sami Zayn jumped back in and took the hit, giving Roman an opportunity to set himself up to try to take down, get the leg up on Drew, only for him to actually did get blasted with the Claymore. The last visual, Drew McIntyre standing with both the WWE and Universal titles in his possession. Oh boy, is this a booking 101? Did they just tip the hand on us here? We'll have to wait and find out, but it was a good segment. Well done by everybody. Roman was really good. Drew parlaying his fiery, emotional, powerful segment that he had with Kevin Owens on Raw on Monday night. Not as I think it was a little bit of a step down, not by much. It was a little bit of a step down from his epic promo on Monday night, but still, it was a great way, and it's got me thoroughly invested in that main event match in Wales for the titles. Anthony, great way to close the show.
Great way to close the show. Solid segment that addressed the issues between Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, and more importantly, saw Sami Zayn prove himself as an honorary member of the Bloodline when the head of the table had no one else backing him up. When Roman and company do inevitably kick Sami Zayn out of the group, the underdog from the underground will be one of the most popular stars on the roster thanks to the equity fans have built up in him over the last few months. And you notice backstage prior to this segment, Drew McIntyre was getting ready when he found the hourglass from Karrion Kross. And Roman started his promo saying, "I'm not around every week, and that means people come out here and say some stupid stuff," taking exception to Drew McIntyre claiming he has carried the company on his back. And Roman entered into a pop rivaled only by Sami Zayn's earlier in the show, backing up his claims moments later that no man is the main event, the man that carries WWE on his back like the tribal chief. And then Drew McIntyre claimed there is not a man alive that Drew McIntyre cannot tear apart, and he got over. There were no Usos, there were no Paul Heyman, and Claymore. We got a Claymore, and Drew stands tall with both championship belts. If not next week, maybe the week after on the Go Home show, I believe Roman and the Usos will get the heat back. I still believe Drew McIntyre is going to dethrone him. I still believe McIntyre is going to walk out of Cardiff as the brand new undisputed Universal Champion and end the reign of terror, the 2-year reign of terror of Roman, and get that long overdue magic moment that he should have gotten at WrestleMania 36 when he took the WWE Championship off of Brock Lesnar instead of that dinky Performance Center, thanks to Uncle COVID. But it is what it is. So great way to close it out. Michael Bullock, the way we ended this show tonight, I believe, you believe, and we all believe, is the way Clash at the Castle is going to end, with Drew McIntyre standing triumphant with both the WWE and Universal Championships over his head.
Yeah, I believe that too. I mean, and that way Drew gets that moment that he should have had back at WrestleMania before, of course, they had to move it to the Performance Center because of the pandemic. So I believe that. I mean, I think next week you're going to see Roman and maybe the Usos get one up on Drew McIntyre, and I think that's where the booking 101 is going to come into play. So a fantastic segment. I mean, for Drew, it was a little bit of a step down from Monday. Not too much, but a little bit. But it was still a damn good back and forth with both of these guys. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say except Fletch. Let's get into our overall thoughts on this edition of SmackDown.
All right, and it actually starts off with Anthony Florio. So, Florio, what's yours?
7.5 to 8 for me, mainly because of that 5-way match. A match that I strongly suggest you go out of your way to see because it was wow. That's all there is to say on that. The tag team tournament match, second best fight of the night with Toxic Attraction making a big splash in their first night in their debut. Liv and Shotzi had a solid little match. I was expecting a little more from that, considering the Twitter beef that they had, but whatevs. And a couple of other good segments here and there. The Ronda segment that started it, and then the main event segment. So, that's pretty much it. So 7.5 to 8, and I think it's going to be Detroit for the next 2 weeks. I think it's going to be a live show next week, and I think the following week it's going to be a taped show because they're going to be on their way to Cardiff and all that. So I think that's going to be a double taping. So with that, 7.5 to 8. Michael Bullock, oh boy! I mean, we had just as much fun with this SmackDown chat tonight as we did with our Raw chat Monday.
Yeah, we certainly did. 7.5 to 8 for me. I mean, this was another good edition of SmackDown. I mean, obviously that promo at the end was really good. Obviously, that fight of the night being the fatal 5-way. So yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to add. So Fletch, give us your thoughts, and then we'll get into Rampage.
I'm in the total agreement with you guys. 7.5 to 8. This was pretty darn good show, to say the very least. Everything was flawless. I mean, that's what it was. It was a flawless show. So, really nothing more to add. Now it's time for AEW Rampage, and guys, here we go. So, we started it off with it was a promo that was done where Dustin Rhodes came out talking with Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta were together, and basically Dustin challenged Claudio for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight title, and Claudio said yes, and that's going to happen on Dynamite this Wednesday night. So we got ourselves a big title fight going down. And then it leads us to the first fight of the night. Swerve in Our Glory versus the Private Party for the AEW World Tag Team titles. And Swerve in Our Glory wins the match in 5 minutes and 58 seconds. All right. It was fine. I'm not going to say it was anything special. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't like anything amazing. So I give this about maybe 2.5 stars. It was a fun little sprint, like we always would like to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, fun little sprint. I agree with that 100%. Fun match, fun little sprint, which probably doesn't surprise anyone. Cassidy, Quen, and Swerve had plenty of fun, high-flying spots, while Lee focused more on his ability to throw everyone around with the greatest of ease. Even though they lost, Private Party came away from this match looking like a competitive team who might be able to win those tag titles eventually. AEW has waited a long time to give them a big push, but if they keep improving as they have, they will be champions soon. And having Cassidy counter Lee's big throw, and that was the first move Lee hit him with when Lee debuted, was a nice bit of storytelling. Lee hitting it anyway later in the bout was the icing on the cake there. Quen looks better with the hair and gear he has now. The old look was distinctive. His new look is more streamlined. He's put on more muscle. And the show of respect at the end, good way to cap it off. 2.5, 2 3/4. No, outcome was never in doubt. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, two and a half for me. It was a fun little sprint. I mean, it was fine, but like you said, Fletch, it was nothing really that special. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on.
All right, then we had Hook against Zach Clayton. Hook wins in 13 seconds. Then we had Buddy Matthews versus Serpentico. Buddy Matthews wins in a minute and 8 seconds. Then we had Athena versus Penelope Ford. Athena wins in 5 minutes and 40 seconds. After that, the baddies came out, and Jay Cargill, Uncle Sledgy on Athena. Ouch. Is all I can say about that. Oh, that was not a pretty sight to see.
It was not on Athena. It was on Athena's wing costume there.
Yeah. So that's one of those where you're just like, oh, you're about to pay dearly for that, Jade. You might your luck might be running out now. So we'll see. Main event was the Trust Busters going up against Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta, and Chucky Taylor, the best friends. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 10 minutes and 32 seconds and advancing in the trios tag team tournament, the best friends, because we got to give the people what they want. Anthony Florio, it is all yours. They win in 10:32.
Default fight of the night, even though it wasn't anything overly memorable, unlike the 5-way we saw on SmackDown tonight. 3 to 3.25. I'll give this. It remained competitive. The majority of the match was relatively tame, but it picked up toward the end and produced a few memorable moments. And the comparisons between Brock Lesnar and Parker Boudreaux are pretty accurate. The 23-year-old could have a huge career if he's booked right. And Slim J has been wrestling since 2001, and his style has not changed one bit since then. And nobody here, and that's all there is to say on that. So, 3.25. Outcome never in doubt. We had a feeling that that best friends were going to go over. You got to give the people what they want. Damn right, absolutely. That's been the shtick with them all this time, and I believe the way the bracket is set up, they have a Dynamite bracket and a Rampage bracket, and they're going to meet the winner of the match on next week's Rampage between the House of Black and the 3 members of the Dark Order. So whoever wins that gets best friends, and the winner from there will be the Rampage bracket winner, and then we'll meet the Dynamite bracket winner in the finals at the All Out pay-per-view for the inaugural Trios Championships. So 3.25 default fight of the night. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3.25 for me. I mean, by default, this was the fight of the night. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, it was about 3. It was fine. Nothing amazing. Michael Bullock, give us your overall thoughts.
Yeah, I thought for this edition of Rampage, I could only give it maybe a 5 out of 10 for this edition. I mean, yeah, too many short matches. I mean the default fight of the night here. I mean, yeah, SmackDown was far and away better than this edition of Rampage. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. 5 out of 10. I wasn't really too impressed with it at all. Um, Anthony, final thoughts before I get into the G1.
Yeah, 5 out of 10 for me as well. 2 good matches. You had 2 dud matches, and it was a vintage taped episode of Rampage. But there is help on the way, gentlemen. I came across a dirt sheet earlier. saying that starting in the month of October, they're gonna start to do more live Rampage shows, and in the month of October, we're gonna have 3 live Rampage shows and only 1 taped show in the month of October. So hopefully that'll help it out. What a difference a year makes, guys. Rampage 1 year ago at this time featured the epic return of CM Punk, and 1 year later we get this show. SmackDown won this one going away. So one match alone, that 5-way alone, was better than anything we saw on this show tonight. So 5 out of 10 for me. MF G1 Climax. I can't wait to hear about it. Let's go.
All right, guys. So once we get into the G1, all right. There's so much that happened in the tournament that we didn't even get a chance to go through, but I will go with this. The winner of Block A was Kazuchika Okada. The winner of Block B was Tama Tonga. The winner of Block C was Tetsuya Naito, and the winner of Block D was Will Ospreay. So, the way that it went down, we had Tama Tonga going up against Kazuchika Okada. Okada went over and advanced to the final. He went up. He had to wait for the winner of Tetsuya Naito versus Will Ospreay, and Will Ospreay won his semifinal match. So he advanced to the finals. The final was held in Shiyoda, Tokyo, Japan, at the Nitin Bukan Bakoden Arena. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the G1 Climax 32, and the man who now gets a guaranteed IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match at Wrestle Kingdom, January 4, 2023, is the Rainmaker. Kazuchika Okada wins the entire tournament. It is 2 years in a row and his 4th G1 Climax victory. He wins it, and now he gets the briefcase that basically guarantees him the shot at Wrestle Kingdom. But now here's the thing. Even though you won the briefcase, you have to now defend the briefcase. Each match coming up that Okada will have down the line, there will be opponents, challengers for Okada. In order for him to get the guaranteed shot at January 4 for the IWGP World Heavyweight title, he needs to maintain the briefcase. Any loss around that time, and he loses the briefcase to someone else, and then they get the golden ticket for the main event at Wrestle Kingdom. So consequently, anybody who was in the G1 tournament has a shot at getting the briefcase from Okada. If Okada makes it all the way to January 4, then he's guaranteed that title fight against Jay White. Unbelievable. Here we go, boys. Here we go. All right, we're done. We're out of here. So, Monday night, Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio, 11 p.m. Eastern. As Raw goes off the air, he's got Raw, he's got NXT Level Up, and I do believe there's going to be an Impact recap. Then, we also got on Wednesday, you guys know it, it's Madness, Wednesday Night Madness. We do AEW Dynamite, we do NXT, and it looks like it's getting crazy. Now, 1 week from 1 week on Thursday, this is the season finale of TXN Sports World. We are previewing that NCAA, all the major conferences, not all, just the major conferences.
And
We'll
Notre
talk
Dame.
about Notre Dame as well.
Yep.
So we got through that. Then, of course, the preview of the NFL. We'll go division by division, who we think is going to win it.
Perfect.
And then, of course, we're going to have the Big Three recap. The champion will be crowned on Sunday. And then 1 week from tonight, we do it all over again. We're going to have another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, Smackdown Live, AEW Rampage. We're previewing that crazy event that's in Cardiff, Wales, as well, as it will be actually no, it's a couple of weeks.
September 2nd.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to wait on that, but whatever. So for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Flecha. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you guys on Monday.